During the summer of 1989, a man from Chicago struck it lucky with a lottery prize valued at almost $100,000. Briefly, it seemed like financial hardship would end and a more prosperous existence would begin. However, unexpected riches can draw more than just notice. They can reveal fractures already present within a union. In a matter of weeks, he vanished, and what started as a missing person case soon pulled detectives into a complex scheme involving cash, deception, and a lethal conspiracy. In the late 80s, Chicago existed in stark contrasts, a gleaming city center surrounded by manufacturing zones filled with storage facilities, railway tracks, and maintenance areas. In this setting, Clarence Williams, aged 35, labored on the production line at the Ford Motor Company factory. His workdays consisted of alternating schedules with punch cards, safety meetings, and the relentless rhythm of the assembly belt. His spouse, Vanessa Williams, aged 34, managed reception duties at a car service center located nearby the factory. She arranged bookings, processed service requests, recorded component codes, and managed a till that never quite balanced perfectly. Telephone calls brought grievances about wait times and price inquiries, which she handled with a steady, professional manner. The couple had been wed for 8 years. Their residence displayed evidence of meticulous financial planning, from packets marked for bills to a wall planner highlighting paycheck dates. Charge card debt gradually increased despite regular minimum contributions, and lease costs grew slightly with every extension. An overdue warning sometimes came during tight periods until extra hours filled the shortage. Without offspring, during peaceful nights, the modest sitting area seemed bigger than necessary, an area defined by prudence instead of ease. Clarence tackled their budget with rigor. He maintained a ringed journal sorted by payment cycles, documented lenders and amounts owed, and emphasized the objective of removing penalty charges. Whenever the factory offered weekend shifts, he accepted them, embracing exhaustion as the cost of improving their financial position. Before we continue further, please share in the discussion section your viewing location. We'd be delighted to connect with you, and remember to click the follow option to stay updated on our future content. He browsed advertisements for humble dwellings on the Southern District, noted asking values and tax rates, and measured them against net earnings. His dream focused on consistency, a steady mortgage for a property he could sustain through regular employment. Vanessa experienced identical stress differently. She desired relief from the calculations controlling each expense, whether a heavy jacket or dining outside. She preserved her composed demeanor at work, then traveled home considering how minimal variation occurred between periods. At the garage, she became friendly with mechanic Reginald Harris, age 37. He had divorced, bore a theft charge from 1985, and battled betting obligations that fluctuated with fortune. Discussions started with repair orders and shifted to housing costs, overdue accounts, and the burden of perpetual deficit connection grew through subtle stages without attracting colleagues' notice. Their bond created written evidence. They traded written messages instead of risking phone conversations at the workplace. She hid his correspondence beneath a supplies directory. He inserted her responses in a cabinet that required force to close. These writings expressed openly their weariness with monotony and thoughts of relocating elsewhere. They kept away from details or timelines outlining discontent rather than strategy. Clarence stayed oblivious. During compensation days, alternate Fridays, he visited a stand close to the factory and acquired state lottery slips, maintaining his longtime practice. This custom required just several dollars, and he stored the tickets alongside fuel vouchers in his billfold. He considered this practice a remote possibility, consistent with careful spending, a modest gesture of optimism alongside extra work and accounting. Following extended periods, he passed through the exit gates, tallied the money he planned to reserve, and envisioned a modest property with unchanging installments. He trusted that self-control and fortune might eventually coincide. On July 10, 1989, Clarence Williams followed his established pattern of multiple years. At midday break, he visited a tiny booth outside the Ford facility entrance and bought various state lottery slips. This behavior seemed ordinary then, though later that day it became pivotal. Once results were revealed, a single slip corresponded, yielding winnings of $99,800. For a family used to juggling unpaid accounts against irregular wages, this amount meant beyond just assistance, but potential change. Clarence received the information with enthusiasm, moderated by wariness. He recognized how fast unexpected funds might vanish lacking restraint. His initial response wasn't festivity, but computation. Vanessa pushed for prompt claiming, advocating for complete disbursement over periodic payments. For her, immediate funds signified possibilities, and postponement might create problems. Clarence concurred, and next dawn they departed Chicago heading to Springfield, traveling the highway to the State Lottery Administration. At the Lottery Bureau, processes remained official. Documentation required confirmation, paperwork needed finishing, autographs were recorded and copied, personnel described taxation deductions, specified the final sum, and supplied records. Vanessa stayed nearby, concentrating on guaranteeing the distribution, proceeded immediately. Once documentation finished, money moved digitally into their shared bank account. This transaction exceeded anything either had witnessed on records. Throughout the next 7 days, he allocated funds with careful accuracy. Power bill backlogs got settled, charge account totals decreased, and statements previously showing warning text became labeled resolved. This process of clearing debts provided him authority missing from their economics. He removed $45,000 as currency, placing it within a steel container owned for ages. This receptacle remained sturdy, its fastener basic yet effective, and he positioned it inside the wardrobe beneath seasonal garments. For him, it represented both emergency funds and meaning, an initial investment toward security. Though Clarence considered the funds as protection, Vanessa understood them alternatively. She saw their capacity to transform her situation, not via slow progress, but by leaving the existence she had with him. Discussions with Reginald Harris changed appropriately. Their exchanged writings, previously containing tired comments regarding repetition, presently outlined fresh options. They talked about funds beyond theoretical concepts, but as amounts, contemplating their potential if reallocated. The prize altered their communications' character, introducing immediacy where only imagination existed. Clarence simultaneously kept his factory routine. He examined property advertisements, analyzing loan percentages and financing conditions, marking areas affordable with his revised earnings. He discussed resisting hasty spending. He requested Vanessa maintain confidentiality, worried about attracting notice locally or with colleagues. His methodical nature supported his hopefulness. Initially, in many years, he envisioned taxes remitted punctually, maintenance funded without loans, and a reasonable emergency fund. This route seemed sensible, demanding perseverance, yet lacking the perpetual worry defining their existence. Vanessa, conversely, interpreted this change as an exit signal. Those identical numbers Clarence viewed as payment plans, she saw as resources for leaving. She understood that funds this substantial provided influence, a buffer sufficient to break existing connections. During encounters with Reginald near the garage, complaints transformed into organization. They discussed beyond eventually toward methods, considering hiding, scheduling, and external impressions. The financial discovery converted their talks from imagination to readiness. The reward intended to secure a family instead separated it. Every member within this arrangement perceived it uniquely. Clarence, reliable and optimistic, wanted lasting residence he might ultimately purchase. Vanessa regarded it as her chance to escape commitments she refused anymore. Reginald, trapped by wagering losses and familiar with chances, saw it as an option to recover fast. The scheme didn't emerge instantly. It formed gradually, influenced by talks, exchanged writings, and conditions around the unexpected money entering the Williams home. Vanessa started with technique. She proposed employing an accessible domestic toxin meant for pest elimination. Such products, commonly available at supply shops throughout Chicago then, weren't immediate, but could compromise someone via hemorrhaging and fatigue. The strategy wasn't depending solely on toxins, rather utilizing them to incapacitate Clarence till he couldn't resist. Through selecting something common and ordinary, she aimed to prevent questions. A standard package of granules or dust wouldn't raise concerns during regular home examination, mixing naturally with various household products. Phase 2 involved the vanishing story. They understood the formal account required believability to pass early police examination. Clarence, within this fabricated version, would appear as someone who received funds and chose to disappear with them. Supporting this deception, specific objects needed removing from the residence. His billfold, timepiece, and access keys remained crucial since their missing status would imply deliberate leaving. Keeping them present would dispute the picture of someone departing with money. Vanessa knew she'd need performing the worried partner, declaring his missing status while suggesting monetary disagreement. The goal involved mixing sorrow with plausibility, sufficient to persuade relatives and detectives that Clarence elected to vanish. Reginald handled operational duties. His function stayed functional and needed advance organizing. He checked his vehicle, confirming its ability to move remains without breakdown. He acquired industrial covering, cords, and standard equipment, nothing appearing odd for his profession. Such items might be justified as gear for moving components or managing waste. As the disposal location, he selected a deserted mine at Chicago's southern area. This spot was recognized locally as a debris site for stones and damaged cement, an area where vehicles arrived and departed nightly without suspicion. During nighttime, it offered required seclusion for interment. A surface hole might be created, soil returned, and the area masked with waste concealing disruption. Schedule remained vital. Acting immediately following the lottery collection would seem questionable, yet delaying excessively brought risks. They chose allowing a brief period, sufficient for normalcy, then moving before inquiries regarding funds or Clarence's intentions emerged. Vanessa fulfilled her role through regular communication with Clarence's parent, adding suggestions during informal talks. She implied the rapid money created household stress, establishing the basis for willing exit. This approach calculated groundwork for her account after declaring him absent. They considered dangers thoroughly. Grown people occasionally vanished, particularly during monetary pressure or relationship problems, and authorities didn't always commit heavily to these situations. Both Vanessa and Reginald relied upon this. Their calculation expected detectives would first restrict activities to examining residence and employment. They wagered the missing remains would delay progress, and lacking direct signs of violence, the matter would stay unsettled for extended periods. Last modifications concerned minor yet important elements. They got hand protection avoiding physical traces while managing covering or remains. They decided against using common phones during important times, removing possible communication logs. Supporting the complete plot remained its dependence on commonplace items. Selected materials were routine objects, typical within sheds, storage areas, and work vehicles. A hide strap, covering piece, and maintenance truck weren't notable. The mine, covered with junk, provided hiding without needing expert understanding. For them, basic meant undetectable. During July 25, 1989's night, the scheme achieved implementation phase. The date progressed normally. Clarence completed his factory period, came back, and consumed a typical meal made by Vanessa. This seemingly regular food contained a hidden change. Within his serving, Vanessa added typical pest killer obtained previously. This material, easily accessible, wasn't instantly fatal. It created effects slowly, causing initially unease and tiredness, then confusion. While Clarence consumed food, he didn't know the meal contained the initial phase of an intentional plot. Results appeared quickly. He started experiencing instability, initial symptoms showing as tiredness beyond typical work fatigue. Soon, illness and vertigo increased. His concentration ability weakened, and actions became uncoordinated. When trying to rise, his system couldn't react strongly. This moment Vanessa expected. She contacted Reginald Harris per their plan. Reginald reached the home soon after, timing selected, avoiding neighbor observation. He came fast, carrying the scheme's last piece. Combined, they operated accurately. A hide strap chosen for durability and access turned into the decisive tool. They constricted it on Clarence's throat as his frame gave minimal opposition. This approach remained harsh yet successful. Mixing toxic substances and physical choking guaranteed zero survival or assistance possibility. After Clarence stopped moving, they addressed hiding. They acted fast yet prevented chaos. Reginald spread thick covering material arranged beforehand. The remains got positioned and secured completely. Cords maintained the package firm, avoiding visibility while moving. After securing everything, they moved the remains toward Reginald's vehicle. The late-season evening helped them. Manufacturing districts on the southern area had minimal movement after sunset. The mine existed at urban edges, a location recognized for thrown debris over residents. Exactly this setting supplied hiding. Reginald directed the vehicle from pavement toward an open space. Using digging tools carried along, they created a surface depression, adequate containing remains without highlighting moved ground. They placed the package underground, returned earth, and spread garbage over the area. Near the remains, they positioned Clarence's billfold, watch, and access items. These objects, minor individually, proved essential for the fictional story. Their missing status from residents would validate Clarence's intentional exit, and finding them afterward would suggest vanishing distant from residents. Through arranging this aspect, Vanessa and Reginald thought they supported the voluntary escape deception. After completing interment, they went to the vehicle. Earth stuck on garments, though they brought replacement clothes, minimizing detection if seen. The return journey occurred smoothly. Streets stayed mostly vacant, and timing helped their hiding. Reaching Vanessa's area, building lights were mostly dark, and they removed only their presence. At the home, Vanessa began the scheme's next segment. She formed regular appearance. The following day, she behaved like Clarence departed early for employment. She filed no quick complaint, matching a residence appearing ordinary. One more day elapsed until she contacted Edna Williams, Clarence's parent. Upon doing so, her voice stayed steady, nearly accepting. She informed Edna that Clarence grabbed funds and departed lacking reason. This claim aimed matching the prepared narrative. Someone stressed, recently rich, selecting exit beyond duty. Edna didn't believe the narrative immediately. She reached the Ford facility and discovered Clarence hadn't come after July 25th. This verification created the initial recorded indication of problems. Vanessa's voluntary missing claim didn't match employment data. Still, currently, doubt hadn't become evidence. Within the residence, Vanessa kept everything arranged. Externally, the residence displayed zero chaos. No luxury buying occurred. She followed her regular routine, traveling from residence to employment, forming regular impressions. The purpose stayed obvious, surviving initial inquiry rounds lacking narrative failures. The scheme needed control. It demanded duration for family expressing worry, for missing status becoming significant, and authorities reacting through standard missing adult investigation. Through postponing, Vanessa thought she positioned circumstances inside reasonable limits. She expected Clarence's monetary condition and money availability would validate her account, making detectives decide he departed voluntarily. After Edna Williams reached Chicago, authorities declaring her child absent, the matter became documented as grown person vanishing. Initially, it appeared similar to another standard document within a metropolis containing numerous missing individual cases. However, details quickly created concerns. Clarence Williams wasn't someone abandoning employment lacking warning. His parent claimed his missing wasn't chosen, and her claim had influence. July 28th, police reached the simple home Clarence occupied with his partner. Entry to the location got allowed freely by Vanessa. The inspection showed elements mismatching chosen exit ideas. Within the sleeping area, storage remained Clarence's employment clothes, maintained yet idle after his final documented period. Footwear remained organized properly, and his grooming items stayed at the washroom surface. Such minor elements counted. They created a picture of someone departing, lacking basics, opposing the statement he exited voluntarily. Absent included his access items, watch, and money holder. These gone objects gave surface validation for Vanessa's narrative, yet for detectives, they created doubt. Authorities got verification from the financial institution holding Clarence's funds. Documentation displayed a shared appearance by Clarence and Vanessa after the prize victory. A significant amount got placed, then somewhat removed as currency. The institution worker helping them definitely recalled the pair present jointly at the desk. Following removals additionally lowered the total. Although these activities didn't confirm crimes, they supplied background. Rapid fund increases frequently caused conflicts, and conflicts might become aggressive. For detectives, monetary benefit rapidly turned into main investigation direction. Focus quickly moved toward the repair business, employing Vanessa. Worker discussions showed her connection with Reginald Harris went past work-related. Multiple workers observed their friendship and mentioned witnessing them trading written messages. Additionally, troubling remained, Harris hadn't come to employment after July 25th, the exact date Clarence got observed living. His missing from employment matched precisely with Clarence's missing from the facility. Combined, these elements increased doubt both Vanessa and Harris participated. Even with developing evidence, zero immediate proof validated violence. This shifted August 5th. Someone looking for waste material at an abandoned mine on Chicago's southern area saw material edge showing through waste. The fabric was thick covering, somewhat underground, yet showing where ground and stones moved. He reached authorities, and teams came to the site. Using equipment, they found human body secured firmly within covering and tied using cord. This finding immediately changed the matter from absent individual document to murder case. Recognition happened using teeth documentation and garments. Each corresponded to Clarence Williams. Near the remains were his access items, money holder, and watch, the exact objects missing from the residence. This element removed the chosen vanishing story. Positioning these objects alongside remains implied arrangement, trying to control understanding. The examiner's analysis found evidence of blood-thinning toxin within his body, yet the final death reason remained physical choking. Both toxin and throat evidence showed organized action guaranteeing death, beyond mishap or sudden behavior. The murder determination let detectives increase efforts. That day, Chicago authorities, coordinating with county prosecutors, allowed expanded actions. Vanessa Williams and Reginald Harris got officially identified as accused. Officials added their information to regional and national systems. Harris's vehicle, found via ownership documentation, turned crucial information. A notice showing its details got shared to authorities throughout several regions. August 6th, under 1 day following the mine finding, information arrived from an Indiana fuel stop. Someone witnessed a vehicle fitting the profile with matching identification. He supplied travel path and suggested the truck might have rested locally. Details got transferred via networks and verified by highway monitoring teams. This observation created a path exiting Illinois. Officials organized capture thoughtfully. They understood both accused remained traveling and had money. Capture actions might warn them or eliminate important proof. Planning among Chicago authorities, Indiana officials, and national connections created a capture strategy. August 7th night, police approached an Indiana lodge. Within a unit, they discovered Vanessa and Reginald jointly. The capture created direct proof. The unit contained roughly $10,000 currency, largely smaller bills, plus papers connected to the prize distribution. These contained vouchers and duplicates of formal letters from the State Lottery Bureau. Having these items linked the accused immediately to the monetary reason previously thought. Harris's vehicle got taken there and protected for scientific examination. Following examinations happened via court order. Scientific experts studied the covering and cord found at the mine. Physical evidence matching Reginald Harris got found, positioning him at the hiding location. Simultaneously, detectives examined cooking tools found at the Williams residence. Testing showed pest killer traces, corresponding to the examiner's discovery of harmful materials within Clarence's body. Every finding improved the proof series connecting planning, action, and hiding. The story created by investigators displayed consistency. Clarence got prize funds, removed large currency, and kept it at residence. His partner and her friend possessed reason and chance. The absent employment records, monetary activities, remains finding, and scientific verifications created an obvious image. The matter changed fast from doubt to proof. At the initial August week's end, authorities held two people connected beyond relationship, but through behavior series creating evidence throughout. From toxic food to the mine covering, from absent employment time to lodge vouchers, proof created a continuous series. For detectives, work shifted from catching to charging. What started as a parent's claim her child hadn't merely departed became a complete murder matter with accused, reason, and physical evidence. The foundation for following stage, the trial proceedings, got completely prepared. Following the Indiana captures, questioning started directly. Vanessa Williams got questioned initially. She tried appearing as an inactive member, a person pulled into events past her management. Her claims focused on Reginald Harris as the main influence, the individual possessing reason and action. She presented as controlled, someone caught within a connection she couldn't leave. Harris, questioned alone, directed responsibility oppositely. He stated the scheme came from Vanessa, indicating her connection to Clarence's private existence and her immediate management of home activities. Both attempted undermining the other, yet proof gathered through past periods opposed each account. Within the most powerful proof existed the written messages found at the repair business, where Vanessa and Reginald traded private ideas. These documents didn't display a single controlling person, yet showed cooperation. They contained scheduled talks, the incorrect story of Clarence departing freely, and plans to arrange the vanishing. Times and minor elements verified shared organization over force. Authorities additionally possessed the papers taken while capturing, vouchers, duplicates of prize request documents, and records linked to the complete distribution. These connected the accused immediately to Clarence's prizes, proving the monetary reason completely. Detectives operated thoroughly, guaranteeing the matter stayed valid legally. The first residence examination happened, using Vanessa's permission, preventing legal issues. Following examinations, including studying Reginald's vehicle and objects found within, got supported through official orders, all actions got documented, keeping an obvious evidence series. Scientific professionals arranged their discoveries carefully. Chemical analysis verified blood thinner toxin within Clarence's remains, and throat evidence plus bodily damage showed choking as the direct death reason. The covering employed wrapping the remains contained physical evidence corresponding to Harris, providing minimal space for different theories. Similarly significant remained finding that Clarence's money holder, timepiece, and access items missing from residence while first checking, got interred alongside him. This element ruined Vanessa's narrative that Clarence grabbed funds and departed. Financial documentation additionally helped the charges matter. They displayed Clarence and Vanessa jointly while placing the prize funds, and they followed later removals before his murder. The monetary path created a continuous connection from reason to result. Using proof ready, the county legal panel released charges against both Vanessa Williams and Reginald Harris. They encountered accusations of primary killing, planning, and hiding murder. The proceedings happened in 1990. Through multiple weeks, charges showed the time series, the statements of financial workers, colleagues, and relatives, and the scientific findings. The protection approach focused on moving responsibility among the charged, yet the panel stayed unconvinced. Following 6 hours discussing, the decision came as convicted for every accusation. Punishment showed the judge's evaluation of duty and reason. Having monetary benefit as the main factor got viewed as worsening element. Vanessa, considered a main designer of the offense, got lifetime jail lacking release chance. Harris got 38 years, having release qualification, following 27. The variation recognized his part as a helper, performing important behaviors, yet wasn't considered having identical planning control. Even with guilty verdicts, some concerns stayed unsettled. During capture, just $10,000 currency got found at the lodge. Detectives couldn't locate the rest of the $45,000 removed by Clarence before his murder. Each accused denied revealing if the money got concealed, used, or eliminated. The absent funds position turned into a lasting question of the matter. Clarence Williams got buried at Oakwood Graveyard in Chicago. The interment ended the private section for his relatives, and the trial decision ended the lawful section. For the legal structure, the matter showed organized legal application. All actions, from Edna Williams's complaint to the willing permission for residence checking to the regional teamwork capturing the accused, happened inside lawful structures. No time restriction existed for killing in Illinois, guaranteeing the offense's intensity corresponded to lasting responsibility. The ending created a full rotation. An unexpected prize victory caused desire and deception. The choice converting chance to offense started a series of selections detectives could follow clearly. The scientific proof, the monetary documentation, and the secret letters functioned as reality's expression. The punishments given showed the certainty of law after elements got organized. Finally, what started as a luck story concluded as a warning story of desire, planning, and the permanent results of killing.